pandemic on the side, we were going to go into a recession anyway, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Let's talk about the conversation around, do you stick to your plan, your current plan right now? Do you rejig the plan? Do you say, you know what, I'm not even going to watch the news, I'm sticking to what I know, because what I know is attaching to my goals?
I do feel that you do need to review your plan. And in most situations, if you do have a financial planner, obligatory through regulation, there needs to be an annual review that is going to take place. So with a lot of financial planners, this is going to happen quicker than anticipated, because of what's happening right now, because of the economy as well as the COVID-19, just to stay abreast in terms of what's happening with clients and if they are okay at this point in time. But definitely financial plans need to be reviewed at this point in time. Certain things need to change. There are a list of key factors that need to be looked at, but I can't necessarily say that every one of them need to be changed for every single person, because every single person may be in different stages of their financial plan and their financial planning needs. But there's certain things and key characteristics that need to be looked at.
I love what you said, because I think it aligns a lot with this thing that people have, especially in our country. And I'll speak about South Africa because we are in South Africa. There's this copying of things. And I've seen it a lot in conversations where people will say, where are you investing? Where are you investing? And I sit there and I'm like, it doesn't matter where I'm investing. I'm investing where it's in line with my financial plan. Where are you with your financial plan? Because you can't come and copy and paste my financial plan, because as if funny plans there too in life, they can never be the same. And I like what you just said now, to say, not everything will be relevant for everyone, because our financial plans, one, are not the same, but two, we're not in the same phase. I might be needing to withdraw money next year. You might just have started your financial plan, so that is really important. But let's talk a little bit about de-risking. How does one de-risk right now? What would be the best places to de-risk? We know that the more sophisticated markets are de-risking from emerging market stocks. Where would a person like me, who is in an emerging market country with stocks that are doing all sorts of things? I mean, Cecil just the other day was down. Today it's up. What do you do?
Okay. I'm going to give you a case in point in terms of just generally with financial planning, and whether you're doing it with me as a financial planner or you're doing it by yourself. There are certain things that you need to incorporate. There's the conservative funds that you need for your flexibility, which means that this is money that you're going to need for a rainy day or emergency fund. Then there's your long-term wealth creation strategies, right? Where you're looking to invest for 7 to 10 years, like that period of time, right? So your wealth creation. Then there's your goal-orientated investments. Then there's your retirement planning, right? There's all these different boxes in terms of what you would generically as a person need, in terms of your life cycles. When we now say de-risking, why are we de-risking? Because we need to understand the concept of what's the intent. We can't say because we are in a recession, and the markets are not doing well, everyone is pulling out. Now all of a sudden, now you want to de-risk because of everyone's investor behavior or consumer behavior. That's not how you go about it. What you can now do is then restructure your financial or your investments. And the reason why we are restructuring it is because not only to de-risk, but also to actually say that maybe there's other opportunities, because the recession and what's happening with COVID-19 and the markets have created a new normal, which means that I can gain other opportunities elsewhere besides where I was now. So we need to have a structured way of looking at these things, because if we're saying de-risking, that means that, okay, if something happened in the market, that means that I'm moving out of that fund, or I'm moving out of those shares, which means that I'm locking in those losses. But what is my action plan and what is my strategy going forward? Do you even have one? Or you just say, no, I just want to be conservative now, which means that even if you do go conservative now, whatever conservative portfolio yes, whatever conservative portfolio you're going into now, you're not making the same returns as what you would have made in the equity market, even though it may have taken longer than you anticipated. You are now starting from, step 2 instead of step 5. I don't know if that makes sense. You're taking yourself backwards.
It definitely makes sense, because I think those are the chats that I've been having with people, because one of the questions people ask is, Nicolette, where should we be investing? Should we be buying shares? And I'm like, first and foremost, if you are, or should we be selling? I'm like, if you are worried about selling shares, it means that you've actually not diversified. It means that you've put all your money into shares, and now because shares are plummeting, you're starting to panic, and now you're moving away from your strategy. Unless, of course, you just never had a strategy. So you are just going in and just doing. And I think it happens a lot in South Africa, where we've got a culture now, because people are talking a little bit more about investing, because people are talking a little bit more about financial education. Everybody is now trying to get into investments, but with no plan. So by investor, because Guti were investor, and Nicolette said you must invest in her videos. So we must invest, but people don't have a proper strategy. So now, but listening to you and listening to the strategy, or perhaps what you had said earlier on, maybe 3 or 4 sentences before this, you said you would have your conservative conservative portfolio, you would have your wealth creation portfolio, you would also have, so it's a retirement portfolio. It sounds like a lot, and I just want to be honest with you, from an ordinary South African, it sounds so much that is expected from me, as somebody that did not study financial planning, that didn't study money, and I know that your go-to would be speak to somebody who's a professional. But the reality is that I can't make the checks if I don't know about the checks. So I can go to a financial planner who will not have those things for me, right? But how do I then check to say this person has created all those contingencies for me if I don't even know those contingencies exist?
So the only way, right, that you can do a cross-reference to check whether this is going to be beneficial for you is to know what your goals and aspirations are, right? And when we say goals and aspirations, we are saying that when we say emergency fund, right, maybe we put it in such a broad term, but you know what, it's a question where someone, when they sit down, they're like, you know what, if there's a funeral, go Northwest. I want to be able to go home and not have problems. Or if my clutch kit breaks and I'm not under extended warranty, I want to be able to purchase that clutch kit. If I lose my job, I want to be able to financially sustain myself in that period. You know, right? At that point in time, that's what you need. When someone proposes to you a plan that says emergency fund, then you ask yourself that, okay, if I need to change my clutch kit, that means that this needs to happen now. Then you need to ask yourself, how long is it going to take for me to actually get the money? Right? And then you ask yourself another question that, hang on, maybe I don't need the money, but I don't want my money to be dormant because I still want my money to grow at least by inflation. Then you ask the person, what is the rate of return on this investment? If you know where you are going or you know what you need, you'll be able to ask the right questions in terms of the product that you're being sold.
Yeah. Okay.
Because if you don't know that, then you won't be able to say that, hang on, this product that you're selling is not a solution to my problem. Yeah. Or rather, it may be a solution to one aspect of my problem, but not everything that I need in terms of a solution to my problem. Then we need to be able to revisit.
Just 2 minutes. We've got 2 minutes before the Instagram kicks us out. So what I want to do, Tandikile, and everybody else that's